Shade 45, we are back. It is the All Out Show with Jude and Lord Sear.
We have Debra Pascali-Bonaro on the line. Did I say your name right? Because I was paranoid.
You did. Oh, you said it right. It's such a pleasure to be here with you.
It's awesome to have you on here. You are a doula, and for people that don't know what that is, that's like you go and help. Like, is that like a midwife, or is that another name for it, or what?
No, it's different because a midwife is similar to a physician, really doing the medical care, but a doula provides comfort, support, nurturing, and we help the women as well as the men to really enjoy birth and find the safest, gentlest, and I would add most pleasurable way to experience childbirth and welcome their baby.
All right, so you're like moral support, but you know what to say. You know how not to fucking bum people out in the middle of the whole event.
That's for sure. And we have a bag of tricks. So we can actually show women and their partners how to do a lot of things. And I always say we help move from pain to power or pain to pleasure because our current system just doesn't give you the choices and options often to really allow you to have an easier birth.
Yeah, I always felt like, well, I didn't always feel like that. I think someone told me this, and then I started feeling this way. But I felt that it's kind of like counterintuitive the way that women are like kind of laid out and have to force the baby out without you really being able to utilize gravity, like in a squatting way, like one would shit in the woods or something like that.
Right. Awesome. It's so great to hear you say like that because, yeah, I always say to women, stand up and deliver. Don't take it lying down. And it does feel like the biggest bowel movement of your life. So who's ever done that, laying on a bed with white sheets with their legs in the air and people yelling at them? It makes no sense at all.
Can he do jumping jacks or like anything?
So it does feel...
But upright helps.
Oh, okay.
It feels like, so you're saying like if you do it the way, like with the standing up, it's like having like a little shit baby, like a fucking just,
well, no, I don't want to say
baby.
that.
A wet diarrhea baby, stinky.
No. Hopefully a real love baby, but when you do it upright, it just feels so much better, and it's truly easier. I mean, gravity works. It's the biggest thing ever coming out of your body. You need to be upright.
That's why motherfuckers out here be having so many hemorrhoids and stuff because the toilets aren't built for gravity. All of it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like even if you squat in a hole like they do in third world countries, it actually helps with getting shit out of your body, poop or babies.
For sure. That's for sure. Gravity does it, and our bodies were meant to be more upright.
So let's go into this whole orgasmic childbirth. I'm doing a little air quotes in the air, like because not all women bust a nut off of this shit, right?
No, and it's really important, like to say orgasmic doesn't mean orgasm. There's all different levels of pleasure, and certainly that can include up to orgasm. But Debra, I don't want women thinking they have to have an orgasm to have an orgasmic birth.
That's what I be telling chicks, that same shit. Like, orgasmic does not mean orgasm. So, like, when I bang you, you might feel orgasmic, but never really reach that shit.
Now,
you know
that's a different story.
Oh.
But I think in making love, then orgasm for many women is an important part of it. But in birth, there's all different aspects of enjoying heightened physical and emotional sensation that can still be orgasmic in birth. And there are a blessed few. About 5 to 10% of women will actually have a birthgasm, meaning a really amazing birth orgasm, but never planned. It's pretty unpredictable.
Is it, what kind of, like, do women ever get like kind of, all right, so how they're busting a nut? Is it off of the baby's head? Is it like the baby's head is hitting like their G-spot? And I'm trying to figure this out. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, is the baby, like, are they getting their orgasm off of the child's head and shoulders?
Some of it is because definitely it makes sense from a physiology. They're getting G-spot stimulation. But there's also, I mean, realize the biggest sex organ most of us have is between our ears. And so it's
our
just
mouth?
feeling a lot of sensation. No, our brain. And
all right.
there are a lot of women that just the different sensations will trigger it. But I also say to women, whether or not you have an orgasm or not, but if you stimulate the sexual response that releases oxytocin, which is both the hormone of love and the hormone that's needed for birth, you'll feel a lot less pain because pain and pleasure travel on the same pathway. So women should encourage pleasure in birth. They won't feel pain.
So it's almost like when chicks bang a dude with a real big ass penis, and it's like it hurts them, but they kind of like, this hurts, but I kind of like it. So it's in that same. It might not be as sexual, but it's in that same feeling.
Similar, but truly, some women in birth are just really feeling the pleasure and would not find any pain in it. And that can be even from simple things like their partner giving them some good kisses or stroking or nipple stimulation. There's a lot of ways to turn a woman on that will run the hormones of love and that will block some of the sensations of pain.
What about biting the nipples like real hard? Like blood comes out.
What is what?
Like if you bite the nipples real hard and just a little bit hard, just a little blood comes out.
Well, that's not so good. And that wouldn't be good for breastfeeding after. So this is about gently loving them.
All right, but so this is something that you see as a doula. They're like the lady standing up there giving birth, and then the dude is like he's like kissing on her breasts and shit like that.
Yeah, kissing on her mouth, on her neck, just stroking her. You know, the energy that gets the baby in gets the baby out. And if he loved her to get that baby made, that same kind of loving will make birth go easier.
What if he went down on her while she was giving birth to the baby, like just hit the clit spot? Is that a bridge too far right there, Deborah? Like I'm trying to help, I'm just trying to help women get there, so.
Well, I would say going down on her is probably too far, but your fingers are okay, or she can masturbate. We have a lot of women that masturbate and even some that use a very small vibrator for clitoral stimulation. Well, actually, again, pain and pleasure on the same pathway. If you stimulate pleasure, that's where you're going to be.
Wouldn't that be good?
I don't know, Deborah. I think I'm going to be the one that's going to start going down because, fuck that. Like, I'm going to make sure my girl gets off. Is it... I don't want her going around talking shit like I'm not helping her get her orgasm while she's having a baby.
I had the baby, the nigga didn't eat me out. That's that bullshit.
You did?
What? I've never heard of that one. So you're
well, maybe you can introduce it.
Well, maybe you can introduce it. It sounds like.
Yep.
But I think we have to hold that people can find their own way that's comfortable.
Do you find I feel like a lot of our listeners are really bummed out by this, and they're freaking out that you would attach sexual pleasure to giving birth to a child, and somehow that's incestuous or something. What do you say to that?
Well, it's not sexual pleasure. It's finding the pathways to pleasure, and how'd you get the baby in, right?
Through sexual pleasure.
Right. Mm-hmm. It is part of our sexual life. I mean, if I said to you as a guy, right, if I said to men out there that you're going to have something happening in your penis with all kinds of sensations for anywhere to 2 hours to 2 days, but don't think about sex, would you buy it?
No. I can't even not think about sex for 2 days just with nothing going on in my penis.
Right. So why have we
I'm thinking about the pussy. You know what I'm saying? Deborah? I beat it up.
Why did we tell women childbirth has nothing to do with sex? And why have we made it that if a woman should give birth with love, feeling love with her partner and love for her baby, that's incestuous? It's different types of love completely. And women that don't experience pain but experience pleasure are not in any way getting off on their baby. They're allowing their body to operate in a way that it should. Why is it okay to give birth with horrible pain and we think that's okay?
Would it be cool, like, if we're in the room and I had a girl that was giving birth and I started jerking off, like, just so everybody could come? Like, because I feel like it's not fair for the woman just to come and I have to just sit there and not come.
You don't want to feel relaxed. You want to jerk off and be like, and the baby.
I want to be able to have an orgasm too.
Yeah.
Well, but what about, she needs you at that moment. I think that's a moment that you have to be a little bit more, selfish yourself and really support her. She's going to need the loving.
But she could jerk me off while she's,
No. That's a little bit too far.
Come on.
What if I did it right after the baby was born?
Well, that's between you and her. I've never heard
that's
of that, but people don't tell me everything.
There's actually somebody, we got John in Canada, 888-742-3345. Debra Pascali-Bonaro. God, you have so many letters in your name. It makes me very nervous. Debra Pascali-Bonaro is she's a doula and she helps women find pleasure while giving birth. John in Canada wants to weigh in. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah,
Go
my
ahead.
mom. Yeah. My mom, when she gave birth to me, she basically just had an orgasm in less than 5 minutes. I was out, and basically I heard the story over and over for the last 28 years. But she's very proud of that. And the doctors didn't believe she was having the baby at the time, and I just started coming out, and she didn't have time to lay down on the bed.
What did she say? Like, you made mommy come,
Basically,
or what did she say to you?
She said I start pleasing women on day one.
I love it. And how do you feel about that? I like to ask because
It
how do you
terrifies
feel?
me. It terrifies me. I pleasured my mom. Who wants to hear that? I bring a girl home. That's the first story she tells her. It's like, great. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's
Jude,
kind of weird.
Did you make your mom come?
Did I make my mom come? Nah, man. Never. I don't think so. I don't think I made my mom come. Ever.
Are we more comfortable that our moms had pain? Like, why is it acceptable that a baby could bring its mother the worst pain in her life? Why does that feel okay?
Instead of, hey, I'm all for it. Look, if I could go back in time, Deborah, and make my mom come, I would have. But like, it just didn't go down that way. It just didn't. So I'm on your side. I totally am. Let's go to Brian in Cleveland. Go ahead, Brian.
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Good, man. Go ahead.
Good.
So my question for you, Deborah, is, I think that we're all really being concerned about the mothers here, but no one's really concerned about the kids. I know it's not painful for the mom, but now these kids have to grow up like the last caller with the trauma that they busted their mom's nut when they were born, And who's about the kids?
Well, first of all, when a mother's hormones are really flowing, and we haven't gotten in, there's a whole science behind it, but then the babies are too. And the babies feel less pain when there's a heightened hormonal state for both of them. And it's not about busting a nut. Very few women are really going to come in childbirth. It's more about having a more gentle, pleasurable rather than painful birth, which is actually healthier for mom and baby.
It's like attitude is everything. It's like the shit's gonna happen anyway, so you might as well fucking just just have a good attitude about it, and you might be able to experience some pleasure instead of displeasure, right? Is that it?
Correct. Correct. And I appreciate that question because it's important to validate. I would never want to do anything that was good for mom but not baby. They're connected as one, and we need to create a birth and an environment that's going to be good for both of them, both in safety and their health, but also, I agree with you, emotional well-being. So both.
Deborah, where are you looking when, like, the lady's coming? Is that kind of weird for you? Do you look away and kind of let her have her moment by herself, or are you like yeah, get that nut? Like, what do you like? How do you what's it like for you as a doula?
You know, a lot of times you're never going to know. A lot of women make a lot of sounds in childbirth. That's just natural. Sometimes they're making noise because it's hard and it's challenging, and sometimes they're enjoying it. And sometimes they make no sounds, and they're the ones that had the most pleasure, and they're silent about it. So the thing is, there's no judgment. Women need to be able to express themselves and do what they need to do in whatever way in birth. And a lot of times, the women that have the most pleasure or maybe even a birthgasm, no one in the room really knows for sure. A lot of women come up to me and say, I had an incredible orgasm and I never told anyone because I was ashamed by it. And so I think that's why we need to talk about it. If it does happen, a woman certainly shouldn't bear shame for it.
Let's go to Rob in Baltimore and then Tamika, and then we'll wrap up. Go ahead, Rob.
What's up, Jude?
What up, man? Go ahead.
Hey, my girl pregnant right now, dog, and that shit sound fun to us. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna play with the clit and all that. Debra, you got some good ideas. It's innovative. I like how you thinking. I think what we should do is maybe she should bring a friend, and maybe her friend can jack me off, and then look, we could start some whole shit. Because, I mean, look, if I'm going to waste some babies, let's waste some babies at a moment where the baby busting the nut is balanced. See, I like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I fuck with y'all, dog. That's why I fuck with y'all.
You're taking it to a whole new level, so you'll have to write me about that one.
Hey. Look, you didn't think that we were going to be able to give you some good ideas like with the fucking cunnilingus and hand play on the dudes. You know what I mean? Like we see your birthgasm and raise you by a motherfucking hand job, Debra.
You do for sure.
Tamika, Michigan. Go ahead, Tamika.
Hi, hello everyone. 2 quick questions. Debra, how do you create an environment where couples feel comfortable kissing and touching in that type of situation? And then second question off of Jude's question, is there a health reason why a man could not go down? Is it like his saliva would somehow cause bacteria or something? Is there a medical reason why a man should not go down to help increase the pleasure during the situation?
Yeah, and 2 great questions. So the first one is, the right place to make love is the right place to give birth for most people so they can create that privacy, safety, and not be disturbed. So a lot of people have pleasurable births. Choose a home birth with a really good qualified midwife or a birth center that's like a house that the midwives run and support.
Or the back of a Hyundai. I used to make love a lot in the back of a Hyundai.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, but
no? All right.
Not so good for birth. But,
okay. God damn it.
But a hospital is going to be harder, but you can do it. You need to dim lights. You need to really change. We create birth ambience, and a doula will help you to do that. Make sure you have a caregiver that will allow you to birth upright and move and use water and give you the privacy to kiss and touch and find pleasure. But the second part of your question is, if the bag of water has released, you have to be really careful about bringing any infection in. But your question is right. If the bag has not released yet, then actually a guy going down on you or your partner going down on you actually should be all right. You just don't want to put anything into the vagina during labor. But once the water's released, you have to be really careful for infection of anything.
Plus, it's probably gooey down there, right? It's kind of like icky with all of the, like, sometimes a woman's vagina looks like an orangutan butt, and it's all swollen.
Well, that's up to all of you, everybody personal. But know that fingers can be fine. A lot of women masturbate or their partners will play with them. And again, vibrators are another option that women are finding are really enhancing their comfort.
Can you play with their asshole?
That you're topping me on that one too. That I haven't heard of either.
Okay.
All right, so there you go. Maybe perhaps you can introduce some butt play, cunnilingus, maybe even if you push the baby in and out to create more friction.
No.
No? Okay, all right, fine. All right, just trying to help here, Debra. You don't have to poo-poo all my ideas. Wow. But that's cool. I want to thank you for coming on and just having this candid discussion with us
Yes.
about birthgasms,
Yes.
about women just kind of empowering themselves in the labor of their giving birth to their child. Is there a
you.
website or anything we can direct people
Yes.
to?
Please, they can see our documentary, orgasmicbirth.com. Follow me at Orgasmic Birth on Twitter or Facebook, Orgasmic Birth. But we have films, a book, and an online class about to release on how you can find pleasure in birth.
So wait, on the Orgasmic Birth documentary, there's actually women that are like having the orgasms in birth on.
Yep. In our film.
Yeah.
And
That's what I'm
one woman
talking about.
has 2 of them. That's just
What?
incredible. Yep.
That's fucking awesome. All right, everybody go to orgasmicbirth.com. You can watch that documentary, orgasmicbirth.com. Thanks so much for calling up and having this discussion with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it.
All right.
All right, that was Debra Pascali-Bonaro. God, Bonaro. Man, fucking get nervous. All right, man, let's play some music and come on back.